Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Tryhards podcast.
It was supposed to be my episode this week, you dick. Fuck it, we're keeping that. I'm Pokey.
I'm Jeany. How's it going?
It's been like a year and a half since we've recorded this, and apparently we ain't remembered shit of how this works.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. I don't even know what we talked about last podcast. I'm going to be real with you, Chief. It was probably Xenoblade stuff. Oh, wait.
To my knowledge,
it was the Xenoblade
because,
announcement?
yeah, it was the fucking Xenoblade trailers that were dropping.
Oh, that's funny.
So anyways, Xenoblade 3 is done.
Yeah.
Concluded.
It's done.
It's over. No more DLC, nothing. We got everything.
Yep.
We're going to spiel about it for a little bit because that game was a fucking masterpiece.
It was. It really was. It was such a good game. So, we're going to go ahead and pre-emphasize this. Actually, wait. Before we get into the Xenoblade stuff, we have something very important, Gene.
We do.
We have something very important.
We do have something very important.
So I'm gonna.
This podcast is sponsored by Raid Shadow. No.
I would, if we ever get sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, I will personally ship their headquarters my left testicle.
Raid, get on it.
Now we're gonna get another mobile game company that's just like, hey, we want that testicle.
Hey man, we want that testicle.
Anyway, 1 through 17. This is a weird introduction.
Oh, 15.
15? Ah, we're going back to the prostitutes.
Oh, hell yeah. That sounds so bad.
It makes sense for where I live now.
Oh yeah, we kind of do need to talk about that. We'll talk about that after.
We'll talk about that after. All right, we'll just do this. 1 through 4.
3.
3?
3.
One day after striking gold in Alaska, a loathsome miner came down the mountains and walked into the saloon for the nearest town. I'm looking for the meanest, roughest, and toughest whore in the Yukon, he said to the bartender. Well, we got her, replied the barkeep. She's upstairs in the second room on the right. Miner handed his bartender the gold nuggets to pay for the whore and 2 beers. He grabbed the bottle, stomped up the stairs, opened the second door on the right, and yelled, I'm looking for the meanest, roughest, and toughest whore in the Yukon. The woman inside the room looked at the miner and said, You found her. Then she stripped naked, bent over, and grabbed her ankles. Now, how did you know I want to do it in that position? He asked the miner. I don't, replied the whore, but I thought you might like to open those beers first.
Love that.
I hate that. I hate that. Also, I'm going to pre-emphasize another thing in this.
Mm-hmm.
This started out as a test recording. We never checked the test recording. So if the audio sucks, it's Gene's fault.
You're welcome. I kind of forgot that you never checked the test recording.
Me either. We just steamrolled right into this. It's fine.
Should we stop the recording here, check it, and fix it?
Yeah, we'll be right back, guys. Okay, so the audio was shit. So I hope we fixed it.
The audio sounded perfectly fine. We did literally nothing to it. What are you talking about? I'm such a liar.
What are you talking about? I did so much work behind the scenes on this audio.
Poke, I want you to look over at the dock, and that's my fucking reaction at the end.
I'm looking at the dock.
That's been there for a minute.
You know what the funny thing is? It's the title of this podcast now.
Pokey's a little bitch.
I don't think we could get that past Spotify.
No, Spotify would fucking murder us.
Hey, speaking of murder, I moved.
Talk about a fucking segue. Yeah, Poke finally moved out of his parents' place.
Yeah, I'm on my own, except for I have a chinchilla and a frog, and if they make any noise during this podcast, I will scream.
You're missing a couple animals there, bud.
No, we got the chinchilla, we got the frogs, we've got the praying mantis, we've got the unknown species of ant, and pretty soon I'm gonna have 500 moths.
Glad to hear you're doing good, Pokey. I've been okay.
Yeah, we're actually recording this right after my birthday on this fucker's birthday. So happy birthday. This will be coming out.
Man.
If this comes out on schedule, it'll be the day after his birthday. So everyone go on Twitter and tweet at this man happy birthday.
Fucking don't.
It's at Jeany Brovo. Go tweet at him. Make sure he knows it's his birthday.
I did forget multiple times today.
Make sure he knows. Make sure he knows it was his birthday.
I was single-handedly reminded about it twice. Once was because of the message I sent you. Or you know, the image I sent you, sorry.
You sent me an image. I sent you a message, and I was just like, happy birthday, man. And then I looked at your fucking math thing earlier, and I was like, what the hell happened here?
Yeah. For context, my best friend messaged me today, and he was like, hey man, happy birthday. And I was like, thanks. And he called me old as fuck, and I looked at him and I went, your birthday is in like nearly 2 months from now. And he was like, no.
No.
And then I had to explain to him that his math sucked, and then his response was, or here, his response. I will read
His
it
response
verbatim.
was,
His response. Shut the fuck up. His response was, but yes,
but yes, that
but
makes
yes.
sense.
And my response was, okay.
I mean, it makes sense though. By the way, do we for video listeners, ignore the fact that things have changed.
No,
Yeah,
no,
this man finally dyed his hair blue again, like the tryhards
I
on
did.
crack.
I did. It's different. It's not
It's-
blue. It's not blue
It's
blue.
it's like a silver blue.
It's an ice type color.
Your hair is the same color as Silver the Hedgehog.
I'm redying my hair now. Should I just like go full emo and dye it black?
No, that's my next move. Come on now.
No, your next move's red, obviously. Fucking
My-
D-Luke over here.
That's a wig. I'm not doing that. It's an actual hair color.
You're dyeing it red. I don't care. You're being ginger.
I'm not going ginger. I
You're
will get
being
it cut-
ginger.
I will get it cut before I dye it.
Will you go bald before you dye it red?
No,
Okay. You'd rather dye it red than go bald?
I didn't. No,
You don't
no,
want to
no.
look like you're dead?
No, I don't. If I go bald on my head, I have to grow the beard out. I'm just gonna look like an old minister.
You really would.
I really would. If I shave my beard and I just keep the stash, though, I'll look like I shouldn't be within like 20 yards of a school.
Yeah. Yeah, you really would. You know, God, what was that fucking show? Like, was it
Describe
Hi,
it.
My Name is Earl? Was that the name?
That sounds about right. I don't actually know the show though.
No, so there was a show. You know the guy who plays Dave from Alvin and the Chipmunks?
Yeah, I don't know.
So
what his
he
name
had
is.
this show that was basically, it was similar to like a Trailer Park Boys type thing, to my remember.
Yeah.
And it's called like Hi, My Name is Earl, and he had like balding head, full on beard that was like a fucking mess. Like it looked like, you know what a Rat King is?
Yeah, I do.
Imagine that on a face.
That's messed up.
But like that's what I think of, and again, that's going from deep in my memory. Like I was young as hell whenever I saw
Dude,
this.
I can't remember most of the. Dude, I couldn't sit here and like you mentioned Alvin and the Chipmunks. I could not remember any but like the first movie.
Dude, I saw a clip of the, I guess, main antagonist of the movie, the bald dude with the goatee and the glasses.
Yeah.
I saw a clip of him and I forgot he existed in the movie. Period, dude. Like
That's because he was that movie sucked so bad because of like he just didn't exist until like 5 seconds after.
dude, like I thought that the movie was good as a kid, but I might have to go and rewatch it. I know for a fact, as of like a recent, like I'm having a stroke here. Soon, I want to rewatch like the Lilo and Stitch movies because
I'm down.
I miss those movies so much, and I just want to go on like a childhood binge of movies, right?
Can I go with you? Because there's a lot of movies I missed as a child.
Heck yeah, dude! Like we're gonna watch
Okay.
Lilo and Stitch, Land Before Time.
Oh.
What's like some other good movies? What was that? What was that one like caveman one? The Kronks or something like that?
The Kronks? I did not watch this.
Or Croods, the Croods.
I don't think
I
I
was
watched
thinking-
the Kronks.
I was thinking of Kronk from Emperor's New Groove.
the Kronk. Wrong lever.
Wrong lever.
No, that's a good. That sounds like a good time. Though,
we need to watch those movies again, dude.
We need
Emperor's
to,
New
man.
Groove and Kronk's New Groove. Was
I'm
that the
so
name of the
down.
movie?
I don't know. I'm not looking it up right now because my keyboard would be way too loud on the mic.
Yeah.
Oh
Anyway,
God.
Xenoblade
Yeah. Let's finally get into the Xenoblade. I'm going to preference this. Spoiler. Heavy spoilers.
for both base and future redeemed.
Yes. We're going to start out with probably talking about what we thought about the game, and then we will tell you
let's
guys
start.
to skip because spoilers. You might as well
Okay.
probably just if you're wanting to watch the game, just stop the podcast after that point.
Yeah. So let's start base game,
Yep,
right?
base game,
Because
base game.
that's where it came out. Both of us streamed the game when it came out on
Yes.
launch.
Yes.
We both streamed for like 6 to 8 hours.
I streamed for 12 hours on the second day it was out.
Yeah. So personally, I adored the game. I thought it was amazing. It had probably my second favorite combat system because Torna will always be my favorite.
The Vanguard system in Torna will always hold like a special place.
Yeah,
just because
Torna's
of how much
was
they
so
fucking
fun.
excelled in that game.
It was so fun, but I really like the combos in 3. Sorry, I had to burp there for a second.
Oh, there you go.
Like I really like the combos and like the combination moves in 3 a lot. I really liked the characters. I know you did too.
Yeah, I did. We both had the same favorite from 1.
Yeah.
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 So it's both of us like Lands, right? It's our favorite.
Yeah,
character?
Lands is our favorite. The big man. Oh, I noticed this like recently. We were having the conversation about this, but my favorite character in each of the games has always gravitated towards the big dumbass.
Yeah.
Like,
so it was Dunban in the first game.
I think I relate to that. No, so it was Dunban at first, and
then it was
switched to
Ryan.
Ryan.
Yeah, it was Ryan. That's right.
Because Ryan's just like my boy. Like it was Dunban because I thought his character design was fucking sick when I first played the game.
I could pull off a cosplay of Dunban.
What?
I could pull off a cosplay of Dunban. I just thought
You
about
could.
that.
You could pull off a
I
Dunban
should.
cosplay.
I should.
You know what you could also... No, I know what I could pull off.
I'm listening.
Fucking Mumcar.
You could.
I could do a Mumcar cosplay.
You're so good.
I could pull off a Mumcar.
You should. You should. Okay, so whenever you come back into town, we're doing conventions and stuff again, and you're going as that.
Yeah, I'm going Mumcar. No, so like I always gravitated towards the big dumbasses. Like I loved Ryan in 1. I loved Zeke in 2. Zeke was my favorite character in that entire game.
Zeke is just awesome.
He's honestly like my favorite character in the entire series.
Not man. You gotta give the respect to Turturs.
Turturs is on a tier of his own.
Yeah,
right?
He's on his own
like
tier.
Turturs is not in the list of my favorite character. Turturs is my god, okay? I worship that man every morning when I wake up.
You sure it's not Shrek looking at the picture above us?
Listen, okay? Shrek and Turturs, maybe they're the same person.
They're homies. They're homies.
They're homies. They
Shrek and Turturs are homies.
They're homies. They take baths together. They go out for coffee every Tuesday. But no, like I love Zeke so much. He's my favorite character in the games. And Lands just gave me that idea where he was both at the same time somehow.
Oh yeah.
And I loved it. Also it helps that my favorite quote in all of video games was because Lands' testicles went inside his body, I swear to God.
Is that the
So yeah, no, I love that clip so much. As a matter of fact, in this Discord, it's one of our soundboard stuff.
It is in the Discord. We record.
We're not gonna play it, obviously, but it's if you haven't played the game or seen that specific moment, fucking do yourself a favor and watch it and just listen to how his voice literally increases like 5 octaves. Like, dude, it is that good.
Hats off to the VA for that one, though.
Oh yeah, 100%. The VAs in 3 killed it significantly more than like 3.
Especially compared to 2.
2's voice acting was interesting. I think it was mostly just Rex. I think Rex's voice actor, because he was one of the most inexperienced ones there, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, also, so it's hard to give good voice acting to a child character.
It
in my
is. It
opinion,
is, to
and
be fair.
especially in like an RPG type thing. And that was something that, to my knowledge, now granted, haven't played the Xenosaga, haven't played Xenogears or any of that thing, but I
Yeah.
don't think they've ever done voice acting for a child in any of the Xeno
Yeah.
games. That was not like, I guess Juju was like the only other example I can give, and
It
Juju was
wasn't a
voiced
main
adamantium.
character.
Yeah,
It wasn't someone who you're listening to for the entire game. Um,
Rex's
and
scream
but
will never live up.
it was still good, right? Like
Yeah,
Rex's voice, while it was a little off, it was good.
yeah, it did
Um,
it did the job.
Now we can both agree that in 2, the best voice actor hands down goes to Malos, but
Yes,
that's besides the point.
I think so. In 2, it was Malos, and I think
Yeah.
like Jin had pretty good voice acting in that game too.
Jin was really good. Malos was really good. I also really liked Amalthus. Amalthus had some of my favorite lines in the game, as much as I hated him.
Yeah, and also they just significantly got better in Torna.
Oh yeah, dude. Torna has. There is no candle between the voice acting in 2 and Torna.
Yeah, Torna.
Like
Okay,
Adam was
I gotta
killer in that game.
I gotta ask: is Torna still your favorite of the games, other than DE?
Of all of them.
Of all of them, like is Torna still your? I know Xenoblade 1 is obviously up there, but like is Torna
So
your favorite other
here's
than the
my
community?
thing, right? Community. So I don't necessarily have a favorite of one of them.
Okay.
If I had to pick one game to be a favorite, where it had my most amount of loved aspects of Xenoblade,
It's
it
one.
would be Definitive Edition.
Yeah, it's 1/Definitive Edition.
However, I loved the combat in Torna. I loved the voice acting. I loved the story in Torna. Torna would be my favorite if it wasn't for the community. Like that is the only thing that held it back, and it sucks that it is, but it is the only thing.
By the way, we're gonna come back to the community system later, but getting back to kind of 3, just to add on some things for that one. I loved the fact that the gacha system was gone in 3 because that was the only thing that bothered me in 2. And the way they handled it was by making every single so you get heroes in the game, which is like your 7th party member. And they made it to where all of them are unlockable via their own story parts, and then you can upgrade them through extended stories of each one of them, and it was so good.
I also did like that aspect in 3 in comparison to 2. I didn't have as much of a problem with the gacha system in 2. Now, I think that's partially because when you have the DLC, you get access to 2 of the best blades in the game off the gate. Which makes the game significantly easier, and you don't have to rely on gacha system for that.
And also, it makes it easier once you figure out things like stutter stepping and stuff like that in 2.
Stutter stepping literally made the entire game unbelievably easy.
Yeah.
Like, I think the only times I really died after I learned stutter stepping was during super bosses.
Which makes sense.
Because those things are literally like 10 levels higher than you at level 99.
Which, I mean, that's how they're supposed to be. I have yet to go through the super bosses, but I'm also not level 99 because the big thing about RPGs is I'm not a big fan of grinding normally.
See, no, neither am I. But that was another thing I was going to bring up was I really enjoyed 2's combat in general in comparison to the other games. I think not just Torna, but 2 has my favorite combat system.
I can agree with that. I think there was more involved in it 2 than in most other games.
It was. I think it has my favorite chain attack system. It has my favorite, like, just general combat system.
I will disagree on the chain attacks.
Is 3 your favorite?
I definitely prefer 3's chain attack system because it's the only one that I could sit down and fully understand.
Over time I learned to understand a bit of the 2 system. And again, 3's was just very intuitive. And it made a lot of sense in comparison to whatever the fuck 1 was.
I still don't know what 1's is for the chain attack system.
Neither do I. I never learned it. I just know
I'm sure
/go burr.
And
there's gotta be
on it, but I just literally all I did was used it to do the topple system, and that was it. Topple and daze.
Like I just toppled, dazed, and anytime I got a chance to use like / if I had shulk, that was the first thing I did.
Yeah, that's all you do in chain attacks in 1, and then 2's. I don't remember fully how 2's went, but most of the time I had the same goal.
Yeah, it was just for 2, it was a lot easier because you had all of the time before the chain attacks to build up your elemental bursts.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay, that's right. That's how the 2's work. Was you have to build the orbs around them and you have to crack them.
You build the orbs, you crack them. I enjoyed how like different orbs have different effects, like
Yeah.
how the like dark and water will seal like extra enemies from spawning, and that really helped me in some super bosses and like Ion.
Yeah, there was some bosses in that helped a lot with
And
sealing enemies.
and it helped a lot like post game. Like once you got Telos, that made it significantly easier.
Oh yeah, definitely made it a lot easier to do that one.
Um,
But then with
but no,
threes, it was just it was the number system for that one, and I enjoyed that one.
yeah,
But now remembering how twos is, I will no longer disagree with you. I like the elemental burst system.
yeah.
My
Like
only
I
thing
think
is sometimes
they
the
both
orbs were a
have their
pain.
upsides. Yeah, they were because you had like your party members wouldn't
Give
do it.
you the right orb. Every
And
single
that's
I'm getting I went through the entire game using Nia, Rex, and Tora.
same.
Having him switch to the wrong Poppy mid fucking fight sucked.
Dude, that was so unbelievably painful.
That was so awful.
Um, Once I swapped out using Rex for Zeke, I didn't have to worry about it nearly as much because Zeke just is a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Um, but like I do agree with 3 having probably the best chain attack system. I just
Easiest to
think 2's
understand.
was the most fun.
It's the easiest to understand one in IMO.
It is. It is. I agree with that.
Um,
Hands down, I agree with that.
and then they didn't do much with it change wise whenever they got to their DLCs of each one of them.
No,
The
no,
difference
DLCs
is
they were
the
all the same
bursts were
except
easier to get
for
in Torna.
yeah, they were. The only different chain attack system was in uh Future Connected
Oh,
with the crossbusters. But we don't go there.
yeah, we don't talk about Future Connected very much. Because
Uh
that was literally. I don't feel like that was something they fully planned. I think it was just
well
something to
we'll
give a reason
we'll get
for it
into that.
to go into three. Yeah,
We'll get into that.
yeah.
So, when it comes to 3 as well though, I really think that it had the single-handedly the strongest antagonist. And again, spoiler warning here. It had single-handedly the strongest antagonist with N.
Which was unfortunately not the main antagonist, but yeah,
Unfortunately, and I think when it comes to main antagonist, it had the weakest.
yeah. No, I 100% agree that Zed was probably the weakest antagonist we've ever had
Yeah.
in an RPG, like in general.
I won't say in an RPG in general.
So
There's got to
in
be
any
like worse
RPG that
ones.
I've played, okay, other than
Okay.
one that I'm gonna talk about later because I just want to rant about it for a sec later on. But
Yeah. Yeah.
fucking that one has probably the worst antagonist ever.
No, but no, I think Zed was easily the worst main antagonist in all of Xenoblade. Obviously, again, we haven't played any of the Xenogears games, and I haven't played X. Don't know anything about it.
It's fun.
But out of what I've played, it had the weakest antagonist. And I'm sorry to all of you Zed lovers because I know that you guys do exist. I
don't
just didn't
understand his
think there
purpose.
was much about him. Like
There
you
wasn't
just
enough for
didn't
him to exist for.
like that's what I loved so much about like antagonists like Malos or Egil or Zanza, where you had such a buildup and such a reason to not like them,
Yeah,
but they all also had like a redeeming quality to them that made them somehow likable as an antagonist.
yeah. There was nothing about Zed that made me think like you have a reason to do this. Like
But
his
N
entire
had all of that.
yeah, and made a whole bunch of sense. His whole point was he just wanted to spend the endless now with his Mia.
He just wanted to spend the endless now with M to the fullest extent,
Yeah,
regardless of what it had him do, and as much as it broke him to do it,
it
he
was
just thought it was the better thing for him.
yeah. That's all it was. That's literally it.
Yeah, and I don't know, and just had such an amazing story, and I really liked him in the DLC as well. I think DLC he had his strongest points.
Oh yeah.
Um, but
DLC
again, we
had
won't
one of
get
the biggest
too
fucking rap
far.
things later.
Yeah,
When we get into that in a minute, it's gonna be one of the biggest rap things later. But
yeah.
in general, when it came to three, I think that it was my favorite of the games just in general.
Yeah.
Um, Simply because of the fact that it felt like it was fully fleshed out and everything about it seemed proper. I love the combat. I
Yeah.
love going around. Even this is the first game that I went around and I did all the side quests for the heroes and stuff like that. Like I didn't do
Hmm.
all the side quests in 1 or 2. Going around and hunting down the rings and stuff for the higher end materials and shit like that were
Yeah.
super fun. I didn't have a lot to say bad about this game other than Zed.
Really? Yeah, I was gonna say really the only things that I disliked about the game was Zed, and some people might hate me for this. When it comes to the main characters, I didn't really like Senna. I think while she was important to the story,
Yeah,
I don't think there was enough of her. And it's not that it's
you got the
necessarily that I
shine, not
don't
the
like
stick.
her. She just didn't
She
get
needs
great.
more.
She needs more. We needed more of her. Like we got so much for Tyon, for Uni. We got so much for Mio and Noah, and Lance had his entire story with Yorin,
You
but
just didn't
we
have
just
anything
didn't
really with
get
Senna.
much for Senna. Really,
Now,
the
Grant.
only thing we got was that she was the underdog and Mio helped her.
Now, granted, we have to remember this. Did you do the side quest for Senna's upgrade? Just curious.
I didn't. I
Okay,
didn't.
so
The
I didn't
only
either.
characters I
So,
did it for were Noah and Mio, and that's just because they were mandatory.
so I did it for Noah, Mio, and I think I did Tyon's as well
Yeah.
because Tyon's was for a side quest.
Hmm.
And I just wanted to do that real quick. But yeah, she may have more in that. But I do
Yeah.
agree the fact that she didn't have much in the main story other than being underdog that looks up to Mio.
Yep.
That sucks though, because it's kind
It
of
does.
it's kind of the it's kind of like the Charlotte in Xenoblade 1,
Oh yeah.
or fucking oh god,
Morag. Xenoblade 2.
yeah, I was gonna say we're supposed to use a number, but I forget what the number is, and also it's 2's been out for years, guys. Go play it.
Yeah.
We also gave
it is
spoiler warning, so
4.
four,
4.
four, four.
Because
However,
Zeke is
you've been given spoiler warnings already, so just
yeah.
Morag.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those where they didn't get enough really for their story,
Hmm.
and I hate that because they deserved more.
And honestly, I think Morag had a decent amount. Like Morag was fine for me. I didn't have really an issue with her. I did think it was a bit lackluster, but it also helps that she wasn't really there for, I want to be open with you because she didn't want to say much.
No,
She wanted to keep everything to herself, and she had the duty to Morardain to keep that kept her from saying some things.
which I mean makes
That's
perfect
how I
sense, but
look at it.
I do just wish she had more that she could have had forgiven to her.
Now, Starla,
Yeah,
I so wish she had more.
I
She
would.
is one of my favorite characters in all of Xenoblade,
Mhm.
period. I just wish we got more than just Colony 6.
We got Colony 6 with her, and then we had Jade Face towards the
We had
end of the Mechonis.
we had Jadeface and we had eventually her and Rhine.
Yeah.
But that's
But
at the very end of the game leading into 3's DLC.
Yeah, we did not have much out of her, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
I wish we had gotten more from all of them,
Mhm.
and we just didn't. We just didn't. I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad at least with the DLC we did get for 1 that we did get more for Melia, because Melia
Yeah,
also seemed like
Melia
she got short sighted a little bit.
Melia deserved it. Although she didn't necessarily get short-sighted, she got like her story was significantly outproportioned by the amazing story that had happened in Alkaloth, period.
Yeah. Also,
Like
just like the amazing story that was that game.
yeah, like her and Charlotte just got outshined, but DLC made her significantly better. Hell, 3 made her significantly better.
It did. It did. Her becoming the queen was fucking beautiful for that game.
Yeah. And I don't know, but I think we've rambled on about how much we love 3 enough.
Mm-hmm. Do we get to talk about the DLC?
I think we need to talk about the DLC
we
now.
get to finally talk about Uncle Rex.
Wait, Uncle Rex, dude.
Oh my
Wood.
god.
No,
Oh my god.
so
Straight off the bat.
Wood.
Straight into the wood zone.
Yep.
Anyway.
I want to get in his wood zone. I need to stop. I need to stop. Okay. No, so
it's all the way back to episode 9, boys. Jean's
let's
giant wood.
go.
Jean's giant wood.
No, so okay. We need to give a preamble to 3's DLC here. Poke only just recently finished this.
Yes.
I finished it the week of release.
So he finished it the week of release. I finished a lot of it, got stuck at one part, and then left it.
Yeah.
And then I picked it back up one day, and I was just like, I'm just going to finish this. I'm in a bad mood. I want to finish this.
So we can both agree on one thing here. Or I guess technically two things here because it goes into two different things.
Probably.
Our favorite character in all of Xenoblade is either A or Nile.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
okay. We can agree on that because god damn was both of them amazing characters.
Agreed.
Not just for reasons.
Yeah.
But they just genuinely both had really good stories. And while we didn't get to know much about A, it's just Alvis.
Yeah.
It is just
straight
Alvis.
half of Alvis, and I was really happy with her dynamic as well with Matthew in that story.
Yeah. Oh god, her and Matthew are amazing. I'm feeling full of beans was my favorite fucking quote of all time from a Xenoblade game for so long.
I still see it occasionally.
Yeah, like I loved that so much. I remember when I was streaming it, when we were both streaming it, and I heard it and I was like, did this man just say he's feeling full of beans? And then you heard it and you were like, wait, he did just say that.
He did just say full of beans. What the heck? Then we found out later on that's just a generic British phrase.
Yeah, that's just an actual phrase in Europe, and it weirded me out for a bit.
I'm pretty sure it's a UK phrase, but yeah.
Yeah, I just generalize things to Europe sometimes because I'm American like that.
I do. We do have to specify a little bit because technically the UK is not in the European Union, but yeah.
Is it not?
It is not. It seceded from it.
Damn, you can tell I failed geography. Anyway.
It's a fucking island away from Europe. What do you mean? No, I'm just kidding.
No. No, so yeah, no, but 3's DLC was fucking phenomenal. I loved the story. All the characters were great. I loved seeing Rex and Shulk come back.
Fucking Uncle Rex. I'll show you a thing, 03.
I think really I only have a couple complaints about the DLC.
And I think we had similar complaints.
It wasn't long enough.
Yeah.
I think it should have been longer and we should have gotten more of a chance to like the characters of Nicole and Glimmer.
Yeah.
Because we got enough for Matthew. We got
enough for Matthew there, but we'd
like I wish we got to see the sides of Glimmer and Nicole from when they were soldiers.
Oh yeah, that would have been great being able to see them like that.
Like I wish we got like flashbacks to see in comparison how they were treated there and then how they were treated once they were brought in by Matthew, A, Rex, Shulk, all them, to just see the difference of how that would impact their character.
I would have even taken like, I forget what the things were called in the game, but I would have taken like a heart-to-heart type thing of showing their past.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like even just like if they brought back like campfire side chats, like just something that told us more about their past and everything like that. That just told us everything about that. But you brought that up. I have a different complaint. But I agree with that one. I think you and I agree on this complaint though.
Yeah,
as well.
I want to see if it was the same one I was going to bring up.
So I know there's one of them that you want to bring up, but I want to bring up. I think we needed more boss fights. There was only two big ones.
Well, super bosses do exist in that game to a degree.
So, but like the only bosses that come to mind,
story bosses, it's like
three.
It's just three. It's mainly just main final boss.
Main final boss, and then you have
we got Nile when you fight them at like the midpoint.
Okay, no. Okay, so yeah, you're right.
That's the one that comes to my mind. That's fourth. Is like so it's Nile.
So you have
final boss.
The final boss, the pre-final boss, Nael, and then you have the two combined Feronises.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up Feronises because that was hands down my favorite fight in the entire fucking game.
That being the only time we see that happening, dude,
that was so cool.
That was so awesome, and we only get it once.
I combined two Feronises together to double my power. That shit was so cool. When I saw it in the trailer, I'm like, oh my god.
That was beautiful, and I hate the fact we didn't get more of it. And the fact that Rex blocked a single beam from it using his fucking sword was great as hell.
Yeah. Like, dude, I love it so much. I think, hands down, when it comes to boss fights, Future Redeemed had some of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
But the main complaint I was about to bring up, two of them again.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like Nicole's voice acting.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I think his voice was a little too deep.
It grew
Maybe
on
that
me.
might just be me. It did grow on me after a while, but
Yeah.
like, here's my issue, right? And again, major fucking spoilers here, although if you didn't just see this out the gate, you're fucking blind.
Yep.
With him being Shulk's kid, and him being around the same age as Shulk was in Xenoblade 1,
A little bit younger, but
you
yeah.
would think they'd have a similar-esque voice,
Yeah, but at the
but
same
his voice is so goddamn deep.
so at the same time, we don't know how old he was whenever the merge happened for Xenoblade 3, the world for that. We
Yeah,
do
that's
not
true.
know if he was potentially aged up in a weird manner that could have messed up his vocal cords for that. Just a weird thought about it. But at the
Think
same
you are
time,
giving it too big of a scientific reason for that dude just had the right mannerisms to fit with Nicole.
but at the same time, I actually really grew to like his voice.
I didn't have as much of a problem with it towards the end. At the beginning, I was weirded out as fuck.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. I think it did grow on me. Another thing was I didn't really like Glimmer, like at all.
Really?
I think for her being Pyra's kid,
She acts too much like Mithra?
she took too much from Mithra.
Yeah.
For
Okay,
me to
we have the same
understand
thought
it?
here.
Like, I didn't get it for a while. I'm like, dude, this is meant to be Pyra's kid. Why the fuck am I seeing Mithra?
Yeah.
And I guess it does make sense because you have where Mio reminds me a lot of Pyra,
Yeah.
and it makes me wonder if, like, Mithra's kid is just fucking Nia.
That's funny.
Like, that would be hilarious to me and I would love it, but
No, man, it's just
it
a
was
random shopkeep in
just
Talony in like a colony, random somewhere, just somewhere.
no, man, it's obviously Dirk. No, but
Drop the Dirk.
no, but no, I didn't really like Glimmer. I think again, and I think it just comes down to if they had more fleshed out characters, I wouldn't have an issue.
Yeah, I feel like they need to be
But
more fleshed out. I do wish we had seen Mythos Kid, by the way. That annoys slightly.
actually, according to theory, no,
Kiss
I'm not. We're
my
not getting
left
into
cheek.
that. It's not. I genuinely don't think it's Dirk. I
Yeah.
really hope it's not Dirk.
I wish we had heard more about what happened to Mithra's kid. I want to know what happened more about what happened to Pyra and Mithra.
But
For them.
let's be real here, Mr. Pokes.
Mm-hmm.
If we get a Xenoblade 4, we might learn.
So here's my thing about that, okay? And we're gonna get into a deep scene here. I'm pretty sure that the next game has to be a remake of Xeno Saga, I believe it was.
That's what they're alluding to. It's whatever game Cosmos is in.
Yeah.
I'm
pretty sure that's Xeno Saga.
Is it okay? Is it Cosmos or Cosmos?
So you can use both.
Okay, because I've always said Cosmos, but I don't know if it's Cosmos.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's gotta be Xeno Saga that we're getting through to all that stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm hopeful and excited to finally get to play those games if they do come out again.
Dude, like that would be fucking amazing to get to play those. So like I don't know, I don't think Glimmer really had a great story. However, into the character that I loved the most,
I'm listening.
Nael,
Yeah.
fucking masterpiece of a character, and there was like, I don't know what I got emotional during the scene where we got to see Mortha.
Yeah,
And Nael was having like that moment of, no, you're wrong. There's no way Alpha could have done this.
Yeah.
Like that hurt me a bit because you get to see Nael as like this pure of heart, taking care of these kids in a paradise world.
She just wants everything and everyone to enjoy themselves, basically.
Yeah, and you get to see her like break. And that hurt for me. But I think honestly the best part of her character was she just had enough faith in Matthew to just be like, fuck it. I'll do whatever it is you're saying here. I believe you.
That was awesome. I really liked the way they did the characters in this fucking game, dude.
Really, the only main character other than Nicole and Glimmer that I just didn't really like as much that I had an issue with, I think they did Shulk dirty. I really did.
So I agree slight with you there, but I also agree with the fact that I'm pretty sure Xenoblade Future Redeemed, the DLC, was meant to be a love letter for Xenoblade 1 fans because of how much Xenoblade 1 type content we got in that. Because of the fact
Yeah.
the main story mainly had Xenoblade 2 things. The only thing we got out of Xenoblade 1 was like, oh, this is potentially this one's descendant and this one's descendant, and here's a sword.
Yeah. Like, I
Everything
really
felt like
think
it was really
Shulk
close
had a
to.
great character. I love how he's like taken after Dunban, and you can see that just in the way that he like fights in general.
Yeah,
That and his outfit, he becomes Dunban, right?
he
He
does.
looks after his
He look
brother-in-law, and it's beautiful.
yeah, looks
But
up to the man.
and I also get that they made Shulk the way they did because they needed to balance it out.
Yeah.
But this man had the power to destroy a literal god that was created for this universe.
Yep.
Why the fuck can he barely hit any damage on Monado Cyclone, one of the most powerful Monado arts in the game?
Yeah, that one was a little bit of a bothersome thing, but okay. I'm gonna throw a slight bone here because of the fact that I know how they did this in 2, and I hated it too. I hated it there too. I hated it there too. I think Shulk was done dirty in Xenoblade 2 as well.
Yeah,
Him as a blade is one of the worst blades in the game because of the
I
fact that his entire moveset is based on the shield hammer.
yeah, I never really got to use him as a blade. Like I wanted to get him and Fiora into the overworld, but once I played with them a bit in I don't know what it's even called anymore.
The challenge mode.
The challenge mode. Like once I got playing with them a bit in there, I'm like, I don't really like them at all. They're
Fiora, so
not very fun.
Fiora's class is really
Fiora
good
was
for
fun.
Nia,
Fiora was
but
fun. I liked Fiora.
Shulk's class sucked.
Mhm.
That's just because they based it off the one class in that game that sucks so bad.
Yeah, if they made him similar to like a Chroma Katana, let's say,
Oh yeah,
Shulk would be one of the better blades in the entire game.
they would, but that's just because the Chroma Katana's broken.
Yeah, exactly. That is just because Chroma Katana is like the best class in the game other than Ether Cannon.
It's just completely busted at that point.
It's like
so
it's
broken.
like Chroma Katana, Scythe, and Ether Cannon. Ironically enough, all three fucking goaded on the best driver in the game, Zeke.
Yeah. Ether Cannon
Are
sucks on most other characters, by the way.
it does. It's really only good on what, like him and Morag?
Yeah. And Zeke is the best one to use it for, if I'm not mistaken.
Because of his arts.
Yep.
Purely because of the arts. But like
Well, and his
they're all
speed's a little higher than the rest.
Yeah, but they were all so good. And then
They
you just
were, and
you
then they
don't
get
give
Shulk.
any of that to Shulk.
That was awful.
And
That was awful. Then they did
I don't
him
know.
dirty.
I guess in theory you could say that maybe the reason that it's not as good is because it's Monado Rex and not the Monado.
But Monado Rex took
But
down the big
come
Fog
on,
King. Come on
Monado
now.
Rex killed the Fog King, damn it.
Yeah. Now, granted,
And
we still don't know what the hell that thing was and why it exists, like what it was supposed to represent. But yeah, we
well, we
killed
know
it.
why it exists now. And
Yeah,
since
we know
we're
why it
talking about
exists.
The DLC, we could talk about this. I'm really glad that like now, right? When Future Connected, I always get those two mixed up, so I have to pause for a second.
FC.
When Future Connected first came out, I did not like the Fog King idea whatsoever. I'm like, what the fuck is this meant to be? But then we saw the trailer for Future Redeemed, where they had Fog Beasts, and Nile looked like they had the Fog Beast aura. And I was
Yeah,
like,
and that makes a
that's
lot more
fucking
sense now.
sick.
And it starts to make a lot more sense. It starts to do it.
Yeah, it was just created by Alpha to try and like eradicate mankind.
Basically, because he wanted to basically start fresh again.
Yep, he wanted a reset, and he did that in the best
Some
way that a
things never
computer
change.
knows how.
Hard
Genocide.
reset. Yeah, the best way a computer knows how to fix everything. Death.
Genocide.
Absolute death to everything.
Yeah. But to go more along with that, I think Alpha again was one of the stronger antagonists
No, I
Um,
agree.
and it wasn't even because we got like, oh, this has like an amazing story. It was just because we knew him as Elvis,
Yeah,
but the switch whenever A split from Alpha into this is now just the sentient computer known as Ontos.
yeah, and then it's like that. This is how it truly thinks about itself because its entire being is
Mhm.
trying to balance out
Yeah, it's like
Numa and Logos.
yeah, I don't know at this point. Like I think Ontos, because it is
Oh
just
shoot!
generated by their two thoughts, I think A
Oh,
takes from Numa and Ontos's action or Alpha's actions just straight
so I
remind me
just
of Logos.
so thought process real quick, okay? Because we
Okay.
know in from Xenoblade 2, the Logos core is dead. The Logos core does not exist anymore.
Logos core does not exist.
What is
However, the
the
sword of the end is made to replicate Logos.
what is the potential that the reasoning behind everything starting to fall apart is Ontos's core is trying to balance out Numa, and because it doesn't have Logos to kind of give it slight of a dark side to kind of be in the middle, it has to darken itself a little to be able to match up with balancing Numa.
I could see that, and I think that is a great idea, really.
Yeah, because it would make sense to because
Um,
it needs to balance out the Trinity processor to go back and forth.
yeah, and so in reality, it's not balancing out, but it's pushing more negative than Numa,
Yeah,
and
that
like
would
push
make a
up
lot. That
positive.
would make a lot more sense. But that would also make sense for the big. We've already been in big spoiler, but like big spoiler. It would also make sense for why the only thing that could end up taking Ontos completely out was Numa's core
Yeah,
being inside of Matthew's glove.
yeah. Which, by the way, when I first saw that scene, I think you
Did
had
you?
the same
I
reaction.
was about to
What
say
the fuck?
we both went. What the hell is that? Why is that there?
Like literally, I'm sitting. So I beat the game in school, and and I'm sitting there. This was like before classes started. I got like 30 minutes to just fuck around. And I'm
Well,
just
let's fuck
sitting
around and
there
find
and
out
I'm
moments.
playing it and I'm fighting the final boss and I just beat him. And the moment that the bell is about to ring for classes to go, I see that glove come apart and I see Numa's core and then the bell rings. I'm like, what the fuck did I just see?
That's about
So
to say
I'm
that that happened here. Yeah.
yeah, I'm like thinking the entire school day. I'm like, dude, what the fuck was that? And then at the
Is that
end
the
of the
moment?
day, I pull out my Switch, I hit unpause, and I just watch that cutscene with 100% attention
Because you're just like,
because I'm just sitting here trying to figure out why does Matthew have Numa's core?
I mean, it makes sense coming down from his granddad because it would mean that he found the core basically, and then
Yeah, it does.
embedded it,
It
and
it
that was
makes
how they made the Ouroboros stone.
it makes complete sense and I love it. But at the moment, I'm just trying to wrap my head around it because it never clicked to me that blades no longer exist.
Yeah,
Pyra and Mithra are not Rex's swords.
yeah. No, they're not.
They are replicas of Pyra and Mithra's swords in the like I don't remember what they're called. Are they just called blades where they're
Yeah,
like
it's the blade
mental?
system. Yeah,
And
it's
like
still classified as the blade system if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, and like I it took me a while to understand that fact, but it did make sense as to why Rex wasn't just over here blasting motherfuckers with Numa the entire game.
Yeah, because if he could do that, it would just be ruining everything. If he could just
Because
summon
if he
Siren
could
from the
do
sky.
that, he could literally just like, hey, I want to kill you. You're fucking dead. I'm gonna fire him my laser.
My fire in Malaysia.
But like, I don't know. I fucking loved it. I loved how in Xenoblade 3, and I wanted to save this conversation for a podcast, but we've already had it at this point.
Yeah, we have.
I love how we finally got to learn what Lucky Seven's name was.
Yeah.
And like when I first and I told this to you and I just still find it funny. Obviously at this point it's the name is obviously meant to represent the Lucky Seven party members
Yeah.
that took down Zanza.
Oh yeah, it definitely is.
Melia obviously being the creator of the sword if you don't know.
Yeah, it
To
is.
people listening.
It's a
Like
small side project thing that you can go back and listen to. Please do it.
yeah, please do go
Side
to
quest.
fucking Dunban's shack after you reach the like prison island area and or
Walk
like
back and
after
talk.
you just see Riku with Lucky Seven.
Yeah, walk back
You
and
go
talk.
back, talk to him. It's like the greatest thing you'll ever fucking hear. But like when
Everyone
I
is here.
first saw it, that didn't click in my brain at first that, oh, it's lucky 7 party members. I thought it was referencing how Fiora's fucking lucky that she got Shulk. That's what I thought it was referencing
Sitting
the
there with the
entire
sword,
time.
stupid bitch, got the Shulk.
Yeah,
I don't have
because,
shit.
because if you don't know, people listening, Fiora in the game now, and obviously this game has been out for like 11 years now. Fucking go play it.
Go play
But-
Xenoblade if you haven't. So okay, if you haven't played Xenoblade Chronicles yet, the Wii version's now cheap. The 3DS version you can skip. Go play the Switch version or go play the Wii version. I don't care which one you play. Go play the game.
Go play the game. You have no excuse. Play the fucking game. But
It's available on digital shops. I don't care what your excuse is. Just go do it.
But at the end of, or like towards the end of Xenoblade, you get Fiora back as a companion, as your 7th party member. So people to try to skip spoilers, like what we did with Morag, where we called her 4, we called Fiora 7 so people wouldn't get spoiled by that.
Yeah. It's also why this entire episode's just going to be a spoiler warning looking at the timestamp here.
And like, but I just found it hilarious because I'm like, 7, Fiora, lucky 7. It was made by Melia. She's fucking jealous.
Well, so to be fair with Melia though, looking at the 2 queens and how they ended up, Nia ended up straight out of the friend zone. Okay, she had a kid. Fucking Melia forever in the friend zone, even to the point where she keeps his sword.
Yeah, like Nia literally got so far out of the friend zone that Rex fucked 3 women.
Next, Rex just sat there. He brought 3 women through pregnancy. He really took. He really took. I love you and all you guys to the entire next level of what we thought he meant.
Dude, I cannot express how much I love the fact that Rex fucked and had kids with 3 of the strongest women in the entire Xenoblade series, got them through pregnancy, and lived with minimal gray hairs.
Do you think that's how he got like so buff, was just like keeping them grounded?
Yes. You know for a fact, all 3 of them wanted to just murder him for what they did. Like, you are putting me through this pain, Rex. I'm gonna kill you.
You do this?
And
he's kill you.
Pushing against all of them with every bit of weight that he has.
He just becomes
so
jacked.
much so that he gets so jacked he gains like 3 feet of height. Like, dude, it was great. And
we're just agreeing here
even...
that Rex is like, and Rex has the biggest like glow up in the fucking Xenoblade series, right? Like,
dude,
Rex went from little dude to big man.
Dude, like, I cannot express when people have like those TikTok videos where it's like #1 glow up ever seen, and it's showing like this big, like fatter guy, and he gets all slim and he gets jacked, he gets fucking shredded. No, fuck that. You look at that tiny pipsqueak from Xenoblade 2, and then you look at Uncle Rex and tell me that's the same fucking person.
You can't tell me it's the same person. It's
you
not.
Can't
I refuse.
Convince me that it is the same guy. You can't do it.
I refuse. It doesn't exist. It didn't happen.
It doesn't help that they changed his fucking accent entirely.
True. However, I'm gonna put that up with...
But you can't convince me that's the same person.
I'm gonna put that up with the same thing that would happen, like, say you and I started talking other places, you would pick up an accent somewhere. I'm gonna go with the fact that because of the fact that he was hanging around with Nia a lot, because it seems to lean towards
Nia's Welsh.
So
that's
it seems
Scottish.
So it seems like it kind of like started leaning towards it a little, not like fully towards, like fully like straight Welsh, but like I think it became heavier towards that side of it because he went from like just slightly British to Scottish.
Now here's my only complaint with that though, right?
I'm listening. Yep.
So Nia is Welsh.
Yeah.
However, Pyra and Mithra both have more westernized accents.
Yeah, they're American accents.
And that's 2 of them. 2 out of the 3. How the fuck did he not become American?
You know why?
Because they're gone and Nia's still alive?
Yeah.
I didn't want to go there, but like...
Because they died.
We don't know. We're assuming they did, but we don't know.
They're dead.
Shut. No, they're not dead because the core crystal still exists.
This is true. This is true. The core crystal exists. That means they can exist, but they're
They
dead.
they are alive. They're probably got like similar to what happened with Shulk and Rex at the end of the game. Again, major fucking spoilers, where they just like merged with Origin.
Yeah, to become the avatar for it.
To become like avatars for it. I wonder because they did say how a bunch of people like Fiora went and Dunban, and how like most people from 1 went and a bunch of the party members from 2 went. I wonder if Pyra and Mithra, because they were so powerful, went into that
and left the core crystal
to
behind.
try and just help
That would make
to
sense.
the best of their abilities. But since they're not dead, the crystal's still around.
Yeah, that would make sense at least.
And that's probably also why Rex isn't using it, because since they're gone, its power must be limited.
Yeah.
It can't be to what Rex needs.
Well, also, I would think that it's so in these two worlds colliding, I don't think there's space. I don't think space exists. So I don't think you could have like Siren and stuff like that.
Well, Pokey,
Mhm.
look back at the end credits scene and tell me there's not fucking space.
No, space does not exist until after. Like, I don't think you could reach it. I think if you tried to leave the area to go to space,
there's probably like you'd probably
like, you'd
have
die.
like the whole like I don't remember what the like effect was where it like took a chunk of the fucking world out.
Yeah.
Like
forget
maybe
what that
something
is,
like
too.
that happened.
Yeah, I feel like anytime you would try to leave, you would vaporized out of existence.
But that's hard to really tell.
Yeah,
We
'cause
don't
can't
have
dr- we
anything
can't fly to
confirmed
space.
on that.
We can't fly to space.
Yeah, we can't just we.
I want a Wii.
Also, wait, yeah, I just realized that's the only Xenoblade game where we haven't gone to space.
Yeah.
Because Xenoblade 1, we did it for the Zanza fight.
Xenoblade 2.
Xenoblade 2 was World Tree.
Yep. Didn't go to space. No space.
We didn't go to space.
Didn't go to space. Went to the past. Didn't go to space.
We did go to the past.
Didn't go to space.
We went to the past. We saw fucking Moratha, that beautiful city.
Yeah.
We didn't get to go to space.
Didn't go to space. Didn't go to space. Want to go to space. Didn't go to space. Space.
Man, I want to go to space. Fucking Portal 2.
Space! That's an old ass game, but it's because that lion played Portal that I remember it.
Mm-hmm. So I just realized something, Misa Poke.
Mm-hmm.
How long have we been recording?
Do you want the actual answer to that question?
Yeah, man.
So, to give some context to you guys, we had things that we wanted to hit today.
Yeah, we have.
We're already at an hour.
5 total topics.
We're already at an hour.
I think let's just summarize some of these with a couple things. First of all, me and Poke, one of the main reasons that we stopped recording for both like YouTube and for podcasts, which by the way, we're trying to get back into making content.
Yeah, go ahead and check it out.
Tryhards.
Go ahead and check it out. There is a new episode of the Tryhards. We're doing Sunday and Wednesday at noon. Our episodes should come out
noon
on,
EST. Let's
noon
keep that in mind. Noon EST.
It's at the Tryhards LP on YouTube. We will be posting on the Twitters, our respective Twitters, and the Tryhards Twitter whenever we remember to.
And the Tryhards clips will be coming back eventually. I just need to find the motivation and time to work on some of them.
Yeah, so
they don't take very long, but I just like stockpiling.
For those of you who don't know, I record the Tryhards Let's Plays, and this guy record. I record and edit them, and this guy does the clips.
Yep, I work on clips, and while they're like smaller, they're fun to work on, and it's easier for my brain that doesn't enjoy editing and doesn't know what I'm doing sometimes to just work on like minute-long to 2-minute videos.
Yep.
I think single-handedly the longest TTH clips related video I worked on was something that most people will never get to see, and it was because it was for you.
It's my birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, a lot of those clips they did get to see at least though.
Yeah. There was really only a couple that they didn't.
Yeah, and if the time ever comes, you can release those. Like put them in.
Eventually, it'll probably happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we want to get back into the content stuff. We're working on it. Obviously, the podcast will be hopefully coming back. We make no promises because we always say we're getting back into the podcast,
and then we're gone for a year.
But we're gonna try. But
we've actually we do have one planned coming up. So hopefully that should be recorded. The goal is in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Don't
So
hold us to it.
one of the main things that has been just keeping us from making content, aside from the lack of wanting to do it or Pokey moving, so us having a hard time doing that stuff, we've been watching a lot of fucking anime
Yeah.
together. And it's like concerning how we have all of this that we want to do. We want to make YouTube content, we want to make podcasts, we want to have fun. Fuck that, we're crying.
We sat,
so
we sat there and watched Shinkai films for an entire weekend. We binged
so
all 4 of them.
well, we say all 4. There's a good
There's
few
a
we
bunch.
haven't
So,
watched
so
still.
the 4
But the
most
main
recent.
Shinkai films, we've watched all of them. And it was purely because Poke was at a movie theater, was watching a movie, and
So
as they were walking out, saw Suzume, and they were like, "Want to watch it?"
So literally, so we went in. It was me and one of my IRL buds. Me and him went to go watch the Mario movie, and
Yeah.
on the way in, I saw the poster for Suzume, and I was like, "Oh, that came out finally!" I've been seeing a bunch of ads for it. I'd kind of like to see it. And then whenever me and my buddy were done with the movie, with the Mario movie, by the way, good movie. Luma's best character. You can't tell me otherwise.
Yep.
But whenever we were on our way out, I was like, okay, so I'm probably just gonna let you know I'm probably gonna come back next weekend and watch that movie. And then he looked at the poster, looked at his watch, and then he was like, "Did they have any showtimes today?" I was like, "Yeah, they got one like an hour." He was like, "Do you just want to watch it?" I was like, "Sweet, okay." So we went back in. We went to a place up the road that I like to go to that I'm not gonna mention the name of because it kind of shows my location.
Yeah.
But we went to somewhere up the road real quick, came back in an hour, and then watched the movie again, and it was so good.
Yeah. So he fucking loved the movie. He messaged me like immediately after. He's like, "Dude, when it's out of theaters,
You
we're
wanna watch
watching
it?
Suzume."
Yeah, when it's out of theaters in a way that we can watch it. I know that it's not on streaming services yet, but we were able to watch it. Do not worry, I'm buying copies of it whenever it comes out on Blu-ray.
Yeah. So
I'm
we
good
watched that movie not that long ago, and I fucking adored that movie. I
Best
think
fight
it
scene?
was honestly one of the I'll get into that.
Yeah.
It was honestly one of the most like compelling movie stories I've seen, and that comes from someone who loved Promare. If anyone has watched Promare, you're a fucking real one. That movie is goated.
Yeah.
But like I really liked Promare, and I'm just like, man, I don't know if anime movies are gonna live up to that hype because I've seen in some anime movies where they just like flop.
Yeah.
But Suzume was so unbelievably good. It had some of the best character written. It had easily my favorite soundtrack.
The beautiful like backgrounds and everything, the beautiful artwork for it. And yeah,
Shinkai is just beautiful with that kind of
favorite
stuff. The
soundtrack, dude.
is
We
crazy.
immediately slapped that crap on a media server.
Yup. But it, as Poke said, it had single-handedly one of my favorite fight scenes in all of anime. And if you've seen the movie, you understand this. I never thought I'd see a fight scene between a cat and a chair be good. Like it was so hard to wrap my head around that. I'm just like, dude, there ain't no way one of the best fight scenes I've seen all year is between a cat and a chair.
It really was though. It was so good. That movie was really good. Go watch it. If it's not out on Blu-ray yet, I don't know when it comes out on Blu-ray. I think it's next month or maybe this month.
Yeah.
But if you haven't watched it yet, go do so. It's really good. It should be coming out on things pretty soon, like streaming services. And if you can actually, I just checked real quick. You can import it from Japan, the Blu-ray right now. So go watch it.
Yeah, you have no excuses. And I'm just gonna say this before we move on to like another movie or another topic. To my anime fans out there who like shonen, for me to say that it had one of my favorite fight scenes this year after the masterpiece that was Chainsaw Man says a lot.
He has to clarify that one because I did not watch Chainsaw Man. Most of my animes are romances that I watch.
Yeah. If anyone has seen Chainsaw Man, you all know the glorious fight scene that was Denji versus Katana Man at the very end. That shit was so good, and yet the chair and a cat was better.
But then after we did the Suzume, we were like, you know what? We're just gonna take next week. We're gonna binge three movies from Shinkai. We binged Garden of Words, Your Name, and Weathering with You.
Weathering with You. All 3 of those movies, god tier. And Garden of Words is hard to say movie because it's
a short film,
shorter, but it was really good. Adored that movie.
Cried.
It was great. Your Name, we broke 3 times each. So we gotta specify, each one we've cried at least once.
Yeah.
Except for Suzume. I didn't cry during Suzume. I came close, but I didn't cry.
Yeah, it's one of those where you get emotional, but you don't cry.
Yeah, like I got close, but I didn't cry. The rest of them I did. Garden of Words broke once.
Oh, there's one other movie we're gonna have to mention.
Weathering with You, like, nearly twice, but only once. And Your Name, I cried 3 times. Each one got progressively worse.
Yeah. I cried so much that I became dehydrated after we watched.
Dude,
I was
so
like,
did I!
I was like, dude, what the fuck? Why am I crying this much?
Dude, like, I think I cried more at that than I did Anohana.
You did, and we cried a lot for Anohana.
Anohana, I was broken for 3 days. And it was also similar where I'm realizing now, we've cried to a lot of anime as of this break. We also watched Makia.
Yeah,
And Makia was, while it was sad, I came close to crying. You cried.
I was so fucked up from it.
You full on fucking broke. And it was beautiful that after that, we watched the first episode of Edgerunners.
And that's a show I did not finish. I know people love that show. I was not into it. I'm good.
I finished Edgerunners. I think it was, first part of it was really fucking good. I'd say that was like an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
The second part, I didn't like.
Just fucking blows.
It just blows harder than the main character's head at the end of the show. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
Damn, man. No, I don't care.
And the show's been out for like a year almost, Poke.
I don't know. I don't care. I didn't care because I hated the game.
Yeah, so did I.
But then after Your Name was Weathering with You, also beautiful movie. Loved watching that. But there's one more I did want to mention because it was one that I picked up from a used bookstore on a whim.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I randomly one day was just like, hey, Gene, I don't know if this is gonna be sad or not, but this movie just has something that like makes me want to watch it. You want to just chill and watch this tonight? It's like, yeah, man.
Josie the Tiger, was it Tiger and the Dragon?
It was Josie the Tiger and the Fish. Tiger and Dragon.
Tiger and the
Toradora,
Fish.
My friend.
Yeah, I know. My brain went to Toradora because we have Toradora written down on this list.
We do, which probably we're not gonna get into.
Yeah, but we will eventually because I fucking love that anime.
Well, so we can talk. We can talk Toradora in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah,
because they watched it too.
Oh yes, they did.
Yeah.
So, so Josie the Tiger and the Fish. That movie was fucking phenomenal.
Oh.
And again, it was one of those things where I loved the soundtrack, and I was very partial because Eve was in the soundtrack, and to people who know Eve, he is one of my favorite like Japanese musicians.
It was really
other than fucking.
Are you trying to
Give me a
remember
second.
Idol? Are you trying to remember
Idol? Yeah.
That's Yosobi.
Yosobi. Thank you. Yosobi and the two artists in Yosobi. I don't know the names of both of them. I know one of them is Ichizu, I think, is their name. But I loved like all like those two of my favorite fucking artist groups, whatever you want to call them, in all of Japanese music. So getting to hear Eve in a movie like Josie, Tiger, and the Fish was beautiful.
It was so beautiful. That whole soundtrack was so beautiful. That movie, I loved the art style for it. The story for it was fantastic. Oh,
it was one of those where there was like a twist towards the end where I actively wasn't expecting it.
You and I'm pretty sure, because me and you did not put on our cameras for it, but by the way, I'm requiring us from movies from how not to put on our cameras because I need to see our reaction to this shit.
Yeah.
But like, I guarantee you we both had the same reaction of what the fuck?
Yeah, we're like, holy shit, that just happened.
That just happened. Like,
and a beautiful thing about that movie as well, and to the Toradora fans, you get it. To the Toradora fans, you get it. There was a dumb chihuahua in that show, and we both had a mutual hatred. So
we did. We both like, fuck off.
Fuck off. We don't like you.
Yeah.
But no, that was a beautiful movie. And
We're
I
keeping.
think other
I
than
think we're
that,
keeping these movies vague on purpose, by the way, because guys, go watch the movies. Just
go
seriously.
watch the movies. Like with games, we can spoil them because some people just don't want to watch like the games and stuff. Especially
It's
for Xenoblade, it's like a
that's
niche for some
yeah,
people.
and the games are also like 50, 60, 70, 100 hours, 200 hours, all
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
but we are at a point in the world where anime is becoming a more and more normal thing. Watch these fucking movies,
Yeah.
please.
Just sit back, gather like a friend or two, or even if you're watching them alone or something like that, just sit down and watch these movies.
Yep, grab your pet, maybe grab some popcorn if you got it.
Go get your like dog, your chinchilla, your cat, your frogs, whatever you got.
Don't grab your chinchilla, please. You will probably kill that thing
If you pick it up gently, you actually could probably hold it for a bit.
for a bit, not for the whole damn movie.
No, because the warmth would kill it.
Yes,
If
that's
you're
what I'm
grabbing,
saying.
if
You
you're
would
grabbing your
actually kill
frogs, wear gloves. All that kind of thing. But yeah, just sit down and watch movies.
just take your amphibians and watch Your Name.
Yeah, just watch. Show them your name. But yeah, no, it's a they're all
Even the
beautiful
frog
movies.
would kill itself.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
God.
That was so fucked
I
up.
don't think I can.
So fucked
I
up.
don't know. Okay, we're gonna.
You might have to censor that one.
We're gonna. I'm not going to. We're just gonna see how far we can get with that one, and we're gonna steamroll right past that one. So
In Minecraft.
in Minecraft, yes, in Minecraft,
Minecraft.
in Minecraft, there is frogs in Minecraft. By the way, that is a good
There
thing.
are frogs in Minecraft.
We haven't.
I
found
actually
any
forgot
on-
about that.
We haven't found any on our server now. I didn't think about that. We need to.
Yeah.
Go get some
Anyway.
frogs.
So, one thing that we did get in here, I wanted to talk a bit about music because we were just talking about our soundtracks love
Yeah.
for anime.
Soundtrack love for anime, no thing.
Recently, as of like around the time we stopped doing podcasts, I got really into music and wanting to learn more about it.
Yeah.
And obviously, you've liked music for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Music was like a big passion of yours since what, like middle school, high school.
So 2016 was when I started making it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you haven't heard Poky Beat stuff, go give it a listen. If you enjoy like techno, EDM, instrumental stuff, you might like it.
There's an EP coming out hopefully this month. It's being worked on. I'm sorry it's taken so damn long. I've been lazy.
Yep. It's all right. Anyway, so so I've been getting like really into music, and me and Poke, we share a similar liking of some genres.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person where I don't care what the genre is.
Give it a listen.
I could probably like a singular song from it. Minimum.
Did I make you listen to Ocean Eyes, by the way?
I don't think so. You should send that to me after this.
Okay, I'm gonna have you listen to that after this, yeah, because that's the only that's the only one of the country genre I've been able to listen to recently.
I've got a couple country songs that I will listen to. However, one thing is for certain between me and Poke, and this is a thing where you're like kind of there, you're like teetering over the line.
Yeah.
I'm over the line so much that I scare most people from the 80s. I'm a big metalhead. I love metal music. I love rock music. And like if you sit here and you ask me questions about metal for like the bigger bands, I could probably sit here and talk to you for hours.
Yeah, you could.
But like I'm in love with music at this point. I'm trying to learn more about it. I want to get into making it myself in some way.
Ooh, gonna have Poky X Jeany Club?
Bro, you know it. Let me hop on them drums.
We did have a plan for that.
We did have a plan for that. We'll see if it happens on the EP.
We'll see what happens. Yeah. If that happens, that might get pushed back again. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Sorry, guys. It's alright. Community.
Eventually, you guys are just gonna end up with shit on the singles. I don't care at this point.
Yeah, but yeah. So like, we both like music. Big music nerds. Eventually, we're probably just gonna be talking about music on these podcasts.
Yeah.
And speaking of music, shout out to our friend Lion. He's starting his own podcast called Lion Speaks, where he just sits down and talks about music. I haven't heard the first episode yet, but from what I hear, it's fucking good.
Listen to it whenever you're like, if you just need something to relax to.
Yeah,
it's
Lion
really
has a very soothing voice.
Yeah,
and it helps when you're talking to someone about music. You're automatically being soothed.
Yeah, it really is.
Unless you're sitting there talking about metal music, in which case you are going to be wide the fuck awake.
I find it funny. So you went straight into the metal music side, and I went straight into EDM, and that's the only place we've ever diverted from each other. And then somehow, like in the last couple of years, that combined.
Yeah, so like
with like songs like
I started getting
like
into
that.
some EDM with like Dabin, and I've always liked some EDM songs like from when I was really young.
Yeah, oh yeah, I remember
Um,
you listening to Fox Stevenson a ton.
yeah, Fox Stevenson was beautiful. Love some of his songs.
Yeah, still do.
But like you getting into some metal, like when I heard that you liked Bring Me the Horizon
That one shocked you.
and I
I
Prevail,
Prevail.
I was like, what the fuck
I
are
remember.
you? What did
I
you do with
remember I
Pokey?
sent you I Prevail, and you went,
I
huh?
was so confused. I was like, I did not realize you liked I Prevail. There were so many songs that I could have sent you.
Yeah.
Like,
So
dude, you have no idea.
here's
When
the
I
funny
first
thing
heard
about that.
Scars, I wanted to send you Scars for so long, but
Here's
I'm
the
like, he's not gonna listen to it. He's not gonna listen to it.
here's the funny thing about that to me. We listened to I Prevail together in the car whenever you and I were
I
here.
know, I know.
It
And it
just
just like
didn't
it blocked
register.
it out of my memory. And the same with Bring Me the Horizon.
Yeah.
Like
Bring Me
I
the
was like,
Horizon we listened to in the car.
I don't
Beartooth we
remember
listened to
you
in the
doing
car.
this. Yeah, I completely forgot we had listened to Beartooth until
Yeah.
like you had brought up Beartooth recently. And I'm just like, dude, this entire time I could have been sending you like certain types of metal music and you would have liked it.
Yeah.
And like as of recently, I introduced Pokey to currently my favorite band, Sleep Token.
I need to listen to more of their stuff. I
You
like.
need to listen to more of their
I
stuff.
really liked that one you sent me.
I sent him Rain for those of you who like Sleep Token.
That was
I will
really
send
good.
you more Sleep Token stuff. And I will try to find specific songs that you might like. There is a song that I need you to listen to because it would fit your style of music more.
Ooh.
Sleep Token made a song about 4 years ago called The Night Does Not Belong to God.
Oh, I like the names
And
already.
it has like EDM vibes.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Send that to me.
So
After post
I
podcast.
will make you listen to it post podcast. It's okay. But yeah, so music aside, we love talking about that. Eventually it'll probably just be an entire thing if we get Lion on the podcast again.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna rip the Band-Aid off now. If we get to, our hope is in the 2 weeks we're gonna have a 4-person podcast for an episode.
Finally.
That is all we will say. Is that it's gonna be a 4-person podcast.
Yep, it'll be fun.
It'll be we're really excited for it. We wanted to do this a while back. We did some shitty things. We fucked up, but we want to do it now.
Yeah. So
I'm so excited. Just hope it
I
goes
want to
well.
end this podcast off by talking about Pokey's addiction.
Okay, we're going straight into this. Okay, I didn't.
So-
I was honestly thinking, looking at the time, I was like, yes, I'm getting off scot free.
No, the fuck you're not. Because I want to talk about how after 3 years of trying to convince you to play Magic the Gathering with me, minimum 3 years of trying to convince you to play Magic the Gathering with me because I fucking love that game. It took you finding a Magic the Gathering type TCG with waifus on it to fucking play it with me.
I found out that game's dead as hell.
And that game is so dead.
I still want to learn how to play it, by the way.
Force of Will, for those of you unfamiliar with the idea
picked
of
up
a Magic the Gathering type.
I picked
waifu
up
game.
a box that contained 2 full decks of the game, and I was
Yeah.
like, I have never heard of this. It looks like Magic. It has waifus on it. I'm intrigued. I bet this would finally convince me to play Magic with Gene, and it sure as hell did.
Yep, it did, and he actually liked Magic, so I
I did.
finally convinced him to
I'm going to be buying
join
a
me
standard
on the
deck at some point.
TCG type train. Me and Poke are gonna learn Commander together. That's gonna be fun. No,
Oh, God,
I'm bringing you into that, Poke.
Oh god.
But no, so I got him into Magic finally. It was great, and his addiction has now spread into buying Hololive TCG cards.
Yep. Why Schwartz Hololive? That expanded in that. Now, granted, preference. I didn't spend money on them.
Nope, you did not spend money.
so-
You traded a Pokemon card that was worth $80
I
for a
traded a
booster
Pokemon
set.
card, and it gave me a booster box out of it. I was like, okay, and it wasn't even a Pokemon card I wanted.
Yep.
And so like I had like a couple more. I went back. I got another box. I have not spent any. Actually, no. Can't say that. The first deck was bought.
Yeah,
But that was cheap. I think it was like $20-$30.
it wasn't bad. It wasn't anything to get over you about. So
Yeah. And I do actually want to learn how to play the game, especially now that I've got cards that I want to use. But
Yeah.
it gets me into TCGs and stuff like that. And we've even got the potential. I'm gonna be potentially streaming the Game Boy version of the Pokemon TCG,
Hmm.
so I can learn that. And then at some point, a certain someone is going to be teaching me Yu-Gi-Oh! So that's going to be
Yeah,
fun.
and that makes me realize I need to play Yu-Gi-Oh again. I haven't
Yeah.
played that game in years.
Also, would you be down for trying the Pokemon TCG like online thing?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. There is an
I'd love
online
to
thing. I
learn.
have done that.
Yeah, I'd love to learn how to play the Pokemon TCG.
It's fun.
Speaking of Pokemon, this is
Mm-hmm.
something we can actually talk about that I forgot about.
Mm-hmm.
Over the break, and this is something that most people might know, most people might not. I
Mm-hmm.
am very unknowledgeable when it comes to Pokemon. I
He
know
is.
literally nothing past the first generation, and I
Yeah.
barely know that.
Oh, that's right. You
Pokey and
played the
Lion
games.
finally convinced me to play a couple Pokemon games.
Yeah, you played Emerald.
I played through specifically Emerald, and I'm nearly done with Fire Red.
Yeah, I forgot about this.
Um, yeah, like
You're
I got
playing
into
through
Pokemon.
Golden.
They're fun.
Yeah.
I actually enjoy the games quite a bit. The only thing that I can say about it is I don't have as much shit to talk about you for liking Pokemon. I
Yeah.
get the appeal.
Yeah. Up until
Um,
as long as we can keep you away from past Gen 7, we're good. We're good.
I know that I do want to play like
Play
Legends
Legends.
Arceus,
Yeah, play
and I
Legends.
want to play like the recent game. Like I think what was it? Fucking Crimson and
Scarlet and
Violet,
Violet.
Scarlet and Violet. Thank you.
Yeah.
I know I do want to try them. I know they're not great. I do want to try them
I
just because I know that there
respect
was like
the
a
ability to want to try.
yeah. I know I do not want to touch Sword and Shield. That's what has
Um,
been told to me. I do not want to touch that with a 6 foot pole.
yeah, I don't like Sword and Shield at all. I don't like Gigantamaxing. I felt like the game was awful. The story stuck,
Yeah,
and it was boring. I liked
yeah,
X and Y more than that, and X and Y was one of those games that I put down for years. But
yeah.
I think that's basically it, isn't it?
That's basically all we got to talk about when it comes to what's been happening with us being
Yeah.
gone.
Hopefully this will not be the last time y'all hear from us for a year.
Hopefully, hopefully we can get a more
Decent upload schedule.
decent. I won't say we can actually have a down packed schedule and like it'll be nice, it'll be great because we saw how that fucking worked with anything we've ever done.
Yeah, so we're
The only
just gonna.
consistent thing we've done is watch anime together.
Yep. So we're gonna be working on that, and seeing as
Yep.
how there's more shows coming out this month, we'll see how much that fucks up.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you guys before we end this off. The only reason we decided we were gonna do this is because our weekend show stopped fucking coming out.
Yep. So we were just like, we need something to do. Fuck it.
We gotta do something. Hey, we've been putting off doing any recording, any podcast, any Let's Play stuff. Let's just
Let's
do
just
it.
go back in. Let's go back in. Straight back in. I edited
Let's just do
every
it.
backlog video we have. So those will be going up over this month. And you
Yeah,
guys will be seeing more.
all of the Pikmin videos that we've had, we haven't recorded since the
January.
last Pikmin video that went up.
Yeah, January was the last episode that was recorded, and it's October.
Yeah, we haven't played Pikmin in 9 months.
Yeah, so we're gonna be
So-
getting back into. Well, okay, I played Pikmin 4.
Yes, you did play Pikmin. We didn't talk about that at all.
We'll talk about that next podcast.
Next podcast, we're talking about Pikmin 4
Yeah.
because I haven't played that game and you haven't told me jack shit about it. So you
That's
can tell me
how
all
we're gonna
about
go
it.
about it. All right.
You can tell me all about it.
Okay. Normally we would end this off with a book, but we've been going for almost an hour and a half. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna end this off by reading off a random quote. The